you can declare an employee to be a poor performer if they fail in any of the three assessment of performance.
My name is 𝐕𝐨𝐥𝐻𝐚, employment lawyer and the principal of Liaw Chambers.
What is poor performance? In this book, Law of Practice of Employment Law in Malaysia, the author defined as deficiencies in the work or standard of work of a workman, and it involves inefficiency, incompetence, or plain inaptitude. Now, what are the definitions we have under the case law? In the case of Peter Ng Tian Song, the judge says that it relates to the deficiencies in the claimant's work or standard of work. These deficiencies would involve the claimant's inefficiency, incompetence, or plain inaptitude. Now, just using this sentence alone, you can see that poor performance is not merely the inability to perform a certain task. And the inability to perform a certain task can be viewed in very different angles. In this, he says that it can be incompetence. You simply do not have the competence. You simply do not have the ability to perform the tasks that you are assigned to. So the company wants you to do something, but you just don't know how to do it. You don't have the competence to do it. You have not trained, you are not skilled enough to do it. So you are unable to do it. So that is incompetence. But that is not only measurement. It can be inefficiency. Inefficiency meaning you are unable to perform that task efficiently. So maybe you do have the skill to perform that task. You can complete the task, but it takes you a very long time to complete the task. So as opposed to another person who can complete the task very quickly, you take a very long time to complete the task. So yes, you eventually completed it, but you are inefficient. When you are inefficient, you can still also be regarded as a poor performer. Inefficiency, incompetency, incapability mean that the workman is found to be incapable of performing the work which he was employed to do, incapable of performing the basic work functions as required by the employer, a consistent failure to meet specified or expected standards and levels of performance following a period of sustained support, development, and investigation. So there are many cases on poor performance. Before we talk about how to manage poor performance, how to exit poor performance, I say we need to understand what's the definition of poor performance in the eyes of the law. There are many cases who have dealt with this just cause, who have proceeded to expand on the definition of poor performance. These are some of the example cases: a consistent failure to meet specified and expected standards and levels of performance, incapable of performing the basic functions, inefficiency, incompetence, and incapability. So like I say, it starts with number one, maybe a person cannot do a certain job at all. He just don't have the competence to do a job. It can be a person who can do the job, but he do it very slowly with a lot of mistakes. So he's not very efficient in completing the job. And number three, he's unable to do the job at the standards expected of the company. So yes, you ask him to, let's say as a lawyer, you ask him to draft a letter. Yes, he can either number one, totally don't know how to draft a letter. Number two, it takes a long time to draft a letter. Or number three, even if he's able to draft a letter, the English is poor, he doesn't convey the right message, so he cannot draft the letter at the standards expected of the company. So all these three things are poor performance. So as a company, you must always judge an employee on all these different angles. And also, to your benefit, you can declare an employee to be a poor performer if they fail in any of the three assessment of performance.